Hello, everyone. You're here with OK Student on our weekly Q&A with our advisors. My name is Mariana, and I am your head of advisors. And here with me today, I have.
Hi, my name is Stefan. I am one of the student university advisors for OK Students. Originally, I am from Croatia. So today we're going to talk a little bit about European student experience. So me and Mariana, who is from Portugal, we're going to talk what is it like to really study in UK from EU student experience, right?
Exactly. Because, I mean, there's so much to say, and it's so different from the experience of an international student, or at least it has been so far, right? Because a few things are going to change. We saw this week a couple of news come out about finance in Europe next year. So we thought it would be a good idea to just speak to the European students for this time. And yeah, as Stefan said, I'm Portuguese. I took my undergraduate degree at Anglia Ruskin when I was 18. Fresh kid coming out of Portugal into the UK. It was fantastic. And then I came back on an Erasmus last year to do my master's at NTU. So these were very different experiences. I know that Stefan also has really diverging experiences, and I think this is going to be a great live. Thank you to everyone who's watching already. I am going to ask you about your experience in a second, Stefan. Thank you to everyone who's watching already. Don't forget, you can leave your questions at the bottom. Leave any comments or questions, or if you want to share your own European student experience, do comment below. Let us know how you're feeling. So, Stefan, do you want to tell us a bit about your experience?
Yeah, sure. I will try to keep it brief, not to take a lot of time. So I'm originally from Croatia, a small country in Europe, just really close to Italy. Let's say like that. I know that a lot of people do not know as it is so small, but to explain it simply like that. And when I was, I think, 15, that's the first time that I came to UK. I was doing a summer school, so I was really fortunate to come here and have that experience of British education just for a short while. But I think that even that short time that I was here, it was enough for me to fall in love in this education system and so on. And even from when I was 15, it was like UK or nothing. It was gonna be like that. So definitely UK became my top priority for to come to university here. Then I finished high school in Croatia, and I came to study at Nottingham Trent University for 3 years. I've done my bachelor there, and last year, upon my graduation at NTU, I applied to King's College London, and I'm currently doing a master's there, finishing really soon. So yeah, this is pretty much in brief what I've been doing, and this is, yeah, fourth year for me in the UK, and very interesting, very good experience from UK education I got.
Congratulations on almost finishing your master's, by the way. I hope to congratulate you upon actual graduation.
Yes, yeah, I really do hope so. I know that because of the virus, they moved it, but they I think they're gonna create something really special, and I do not look at it as a bad thing that I'm not gonna maybe be in that hall, but I look and I'm gonna have that unique experience that I really hope that nobody else has, because that means that this virus won't go away, but I'm sure that it will, and making my graduation really special for me.
That's true, actually. I've seen a lot of videos of people just celebrating these amazing graduations at home or on Zoom with their friends. And there are so many different ways. Yeah, it's really changing the way we think about graduation ceremonies and the way
You know,
we
I
think
think
about.
I think it's going to be very unique. When I'm going to be talking about my graduation in 10 years, I'm going to be, okay, you go in a hall, you wear a hall. I was at home, on Zoom and all that. So it's going to be very, very interesting to explain, I think, overall to generations in like 10, 20 years that are graduation.
It's going to be the year of the pandemic. Are you still going to wear your robe, though?
That's a good question. I know that a lot of people that do like Zoom meetings, I have a friend that didn't even wear pants, right? So they're telling me like, look, I put on a shirt when I'm doing a meeting, but like under that, I do have jeans currently. Yeah, so don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
that's what I was gonna ask. Is your friend actually you?
No. I do have jeans. I do have jeans. But yeah, I know like what to wear, how many people, what is the setup going to be like. Whether I really don't know. It's going to be a strange thing, but definitely I'm up. I'm up for that experience.
I think it's going to be amazing, and we're going to see loads of different things here. We have a question here from Dina, so maybe we should go ahead and answer that.
Yes, 100%.
Are students still on time to apply for this September intake? Do you want to take this one, Stefan?
Yes, I would love to take this one. So, yes, there is still time. For the undergrads, we now got into the phase called clearing. So that in that phase, what happens is universities open all their courses that still have available spaces, and they're saying, okay, here is what it is, and then you can apply, of course, to those ones. So, although it might not be the university that you so really want, but it's going to be maybe the course that you want, and we are here in OK Student, we are making sure that we really do find the course or the university that you really want to go to. So I think clearing is still there. It is possible to apply for September intake for undergrads, and now for postgrads the it's still open, so you can still go there, you can still apply for the courses, but do message us before that, do talk to your advisors about which options are still available, what to take on and so on, and I'm sure that we are really doing a lot of work when it comes to meet all your desires and all your wishes when it comes to university. So communication is key here, and saying like, look, I can go this, I can go there, I want that city and so on, and we'll make sure to find you the right course.
Exactly. I was going to mention clearing. It's exactly the same answer that I would give. So clearing is a great time to apply. And especially if you've just got your results, do fill in our form at okstudent.co.uk/form so we can help you find the university that you want with the course that you want in the perfect city. But this does lead me to a different topic, right? Where are students still in time to apply for the September intake? So I would say, coming from the perspective of a European student, right now it's the best time to apply, because we just found out as well that student finance is not going to be live for next year for European students in England. So we don't know about Wales yet, but we do know that European students are not going to get student finance next year for 21-22. So if you want to apply for the intake of 2020-2021, please do right now so that you can still access funding this year. It's literally now or never.
Yeah, I think I want to say something there is, I want to say to the students is there's quite a big misunderstanding when it comes there, because yes, you can still come to 21-22. Yes, you can still apply for a year after, but you're not going to be able to access the student finance for that is available for 2021, right? So if there are some circumstances that somebody from the EU really cannot apply for this year, let's say some medical problems and so on, and many other reasons that you feel more comfortable 21-22, yes, it is possible. But if you can do it this year, do it. Because
Exactly.
I've taken student finance for both my bachelor's and my master's, and what it did in the end is it allowed me to go and study at one of the best universities in the world. And it really is like that, because UK has an education history of hundreds of years, and they're really, it really is special to study in the UK. It really is something else, and without student finance I wouldn't be able to access it. With it I did. So if you're still thinking of, oh, I wait for a year, should I take a gap year and so on, if you really want to come, now is the time. Now is really just.
Exactly. So shall we quickly just explain what student finance is as well? Maybe that's useful for some students who might not know that this is an option. So student finance is a way that the UK government finances your tuition fees. So normally a European student pays as much as a UK student in university. So we pay £9,900 a year to study as an undergraduate student. For postgraduates, it varies a lot, but it's in between what, 8,000? Stefan, what's the range on postgrads?
Yeah, I would definitely say from 7 to 30. You know, you can find really anything there.
Exactly. And for both of these cycles, so on postgraduate, you can access a loan for up to £10,000 at the moment. And on undergraduate student finance, you can access a loan that will pay for 4 full years of tuition fees. So this means 9,000 times 4. These loans only need to be paid back when you actually have enough income to pay it back. So every country has a specific level of income that student finance says this is an acceptable income. And from this point onwards, we will take X amount from the student's wage to cover the student finance loan. They're very, very low percentages as well, because it's not a bank loan, it's a governmental loan. So this will stop happening from 21, 22 intake. So if you want to go into university in September 2021, you won't be able to get student finance and you will have to cover your tuition fees yourself. Whereas in September 2020, if you go in now, you can still access student finance for your 3 years of your bachelor plus 1.
I think that's completely correct. Everything you said, and that's what I've done, and that's what many students from EU have been doing for the past years. But what I want to say is, like, let's say a general thing in life is, I think the two areas of your life where you can invest lots of money, and I believe that nobody is ever going to regret it, is the first thing is health. Like, you can invest in health a lot of money and in your life, in every aspect of health. And second thing is definitely education. Like, are you gonna regret more the money that you spend on a night out, or money that you spend on an online course, you know? I think online course is going to bring you skills and so on, and a lot of experience. And if somebody allows you and gives you pretty much the money that you have to repay once you get employed, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the numbers, about how is really repayment of that loan working. So I really think it's a great idea. I mean, I'm using it. I'm currently using it. So definitely, I've recognized a great idea there, and I'm currently doing it. So education, investing in it, would definitely be my recommendation to everybody.
Exactly. And if you have the capacity to do it now, definitely do it now. Applications are still open. If you're European and you're thinking about studying in the UK and you want to come over this year, do send us a message on our okstudent.co.uk/form. You'll be able to fill in a form and an advisor will get in contact with you. They will book a meeting with you, which is completely free, so that we can better get to know you and get to know your case, and so that we can help you get to the right university in the right city and in the right course. Thank you again to everyone who's watching us. You're here with me, Mariana. I'm your head of advisors, and
My name is Stefan, and I'm one of the student university advisors for OK Student.
we're here today talking about the European student experience. We just talked about Student Finance Europe and how that's going to change for September 2021. So maybe now, shall we talk about Wales?
Yeah.
All right.
So my head of advisors, which is currently here with me in this talk, sent an email today, which was like the best morning, morning that I could ever had. So I found out that in Wales, if you're interested in doing a master's in Wales, you can take a loan for up to £17,000. So that is the maximum amount you can take. So what does it mean, maximum amount? I mean, you can take nothing. Of course, you can study in Wales if you're from European Union and you are decided that you want to pay the tuition fees on your own. That's completely fine, and you can do that in England also if you have the opportunity, of course, and the possibility to do it. But you can take the loan in Wales for £17,000, which is amazing, which is £6,000 more than you can do for England. So what can you do in those? £17,000 then come pretty much in installments into your bank account, and you can spend that money towards the tuition fees. But if the tuition fees are £9,000, you're gonna have £8,000 more to spend on accommodation, on living expenses, or any way that you see fit, which is amazing. You can take much more money, and which is gonna help you fund your studies for that year. If you're doing a master's here, because masters are 1 year in the UK, and it definitely an amazing thing. Really made my morning this when you send me that email.
I mean, it's great because even if you don't want to take the full 17,000, you don't have to. You can just take 12,000 or 10,000 or 14,000. But the fact that you have the opportunity to take the 17,000 and have it straight into your bank account is really good. So that's one of the main differences in between student finance for undergraduate students and student finance for postgraduate students, is that with undergraduate students, they will send the money directly to your university, so you never see it. But with postgraduate students, you can actually use that money both for your tuition fees and for your cost of living. So they will pay you directly into your bank account, which is a really major advantage in this, because you won't have to work as much. We all know a master's requires a bit more thinking and a bit more of dedication and maybe a bit more of a time commitment than an undergraduate. As Stefan just mentioned, in the UK, they are 1 year, which means that you will do the class teaching, the teaching portion, and the research portion at the same time. So this is quite a big time investment and a really big time commitment. I mean, Stefan, you're about to finish your dissertation. How's that going?
I think, yeah, it is very intense, I have to say. Overall, it is very intense, but I don't want to discourage anybody, because universities are here, right, to help you. And I think that that's also putting aside, it is expected for you to do a lot of independent research. Yes, that is completely correct. But the university is here to help you if you do get stuck, and that's something completely normal. People get stuck in. I mean, even professors that have those amazing title next to their name, they do get stuck. And universities are here to help you. There are many services that universities offer that can help you with your academia and with your life. So I think that although it is intense, it is the best thing ever, because in 1 year you finish what you normally would do 2 years in Europe, right? And then you can save that 1 year, whether it's going for a gap year, traveling around the world, whether it's going into business, you still save that 1 year. So amazing thing to come and study a master's here in the UK.
You know, my mom always told me something that I never thought about in this context until now, but she always told me, like, try to get as much ahead of everyone else in your cohort as possible. So when I failed a year, or when I had to repeat a year in school, she was very upset at me. And all she would say is, like, you lost a year. But you can definitely gain a year by coming to the UK and study a master's as well, because while all of your colleagues are taking a 2-year master's in their home countries, you will be here doing a 1-year master's, and you'll get into the job market 1 year before. So this is an amazing benefit of coming to study in the UK as a European student for masters. And do take advantage of Student Finance Wales for 17K. This year, all the loans are on 17K. So do take advantage of that. If you want to know more about this program, send us a message, fill in our form at okstudent.co.uk/form. We're always available through our Instagram, Facebook as well. And if you want to just leave us a comment below, making any questions about student finance or about the European student experience, or if you just want to tell us about your own experience, leave a comment below. We actually have a question by Trish here, asking if you can still get funding for a master's, even if you had funding during your undergrad. So this is your situation, right, Stefan?
Yes, so it's very simple. So so I applied for undergrad, I filled in this form, I sent my documents and so on as it goes, and And I want to say is for everybody who is interested in applying something like that, OK Student does that for you. So we have done this many times. So as Mariana said previously, just like drop us a message if you have any problems with that, and we'll make sure to find you the right help and guide you how to do it and so on. So I've done that for my undergrad, and then I wanted to proceed to my master's. And after you finish your undergrad, the student finances just ask you, hey, what are you doing after? You know, whether it's going to be starting repayment or are you going into the master's part. I said I want to do master's, filled in this online form on my account in student loan. Bum. They said, okay, Stefan, you got the student finance. We're gonna pay it into three installments. So one in October, one in January, one in April. So I got that £10,000 that I took the maximum amount last year, split into three parts, and I got it repaid into my account in order for me to get the tuition fees. And I think it's very good for it to get into the installments, because also I want to say is to everybody, to EU students, to international, pretty much you do not have to pay for the university at the first day of the university. So I think it's really important that you know that installments are there from the university. So you can, first installment I think for my master's was 31st of October, and then the second was 31st of January. So I think that is also a good way, because student finances do come together with the uni and help you repay those installments.
Exactly, exactly. And also, if you want to stop in between your master's and your undergrad, when you could do this, because right now you can't, again, student finance will not be active for September 21. So if you do want to do a master's and you're on your last year of your undergrad, right now is your last option as a European international student. If you wanted to take a break, you could as well, but it is a really straightforward process. The only way that you can't get postgraduate finance if you have had it in your undergrad is in case you're late with your repayments. Obviously, if you're late with your repayments, or if you've never contacted student finance after your undergraduate, you will not get access to postgraduate loans. But obviously, this will not be the case for most people. As Stefan said, it's quite a straightforward process to give them news and just say where you are, what you're doing. So it has, like, it's obviously very straightforward and very clear that you will be able to get finance even if you had financing all through your undergraduate. Sorry. All right. But Stefan, one thing, if you get postgraduate, because I didn't have to deal with that, right? I got postgraduate, I got undergraduate finance for 1 year. I paid my fees for the other 2 years because at my time it was still 3,000 instead of 9,000. I was the last year that got the £3,000 tuition fees. I'm very happy with that still today. So I paid for 2 years of my undergraduate, and then I only took student finance for 1 year. So I know how I paid my own tuition fees during undergrad. It was a very straightforward process. It was just going into the finance office and basically paying them out of a card or anything, or agreeing to installments with them. But if you're getting funding from student finance as a postgraduate student, how do you pay your tuition fees?
Okay, so there becomes the part is, as I said, when you get the installments as a master student into your bank account, and then they clash with the installments that the university is, of course, asking you. So you pretty much, they invoice you. There's always a payment way on university's website. They're gonna send you an email with the guide and so on, and then they say pretty much pay this amount of money until this and this deadline. Of course, that deadline can be moved if you do contact the university and say about, but it's only, let's say, a few days because something else, some other reasons. You can also pay from abroad, so you do not have to pay it from your UK bank account in case something else. But masters, to get that master's amount, you do have to have a UK bank account. That is also very important. So they're not gonna pay your installment into some other account. They're gonna only pay it into the UK bank account. So make sure that when you do come to the UK, you open a bank account in one of the banks.
I have a question that I don't know if you can answer, but it just occurred to me. What if I have an account with a digital online bank?
Okay, so that is the case that I definitely have to check. But really, what my question would be, as I'm studying financial math, so I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in that field, definitely not. But I do know a little bit about, let's say, diversifying and so on. I would definitely recommend to open that bank account in the UK. There are two reasons. First, you have a bank account in another country, which is in another bank, let's say more stable and so on. So it's always good to have a little bit of money there. And
And
second
another
thing,
currency as well, right?
yes,
Especially if you're a
correct.
European student.
Yes, completely correct there. And I think that employers, that if you're looking for part-time job or later on full-time job, they're much more comfortable with you having a UK bank account and so on. But yeah, I think that you can check that on government websites when it comes to student finance. And an advisor can also do that for you from OK Student to check what is it going on with cards like TransferWise, Revolut, and so on. So I'm not sure about that possibility. Have never encountered that yet, but definitely I think it's just a matter of checking and calling student finance. Even an advisor would do that for you to call student finance and check for you if that's the case.
Exactly. I always think that calling these people is the best thing. Calling student finance, calling all services is just the best thing. But that just might be my millennial soul talking.
No,
Um,
100%, 100%. I agree with you there.
and I have a question as well. And this might be a bit personal. So which you might not like answer if you don't want to, but which bank are you with, and would you recommend that bank for European students, or which bank would you recommend for European students?
Yeah, so 100%. Completely comfortable when talking to that. So I'm banking with NatWest, which is one of the banks in the UK. They are also a bank supported by Royal Bank of Scotland, one of the big banks. You can see it on the stock market and so on. I think it really doesn't. I think the only thing that you maybe have to research when you're choosing a bank is how many ATMs they have and what is there, because you can have a money withdraw everything, but it's always much more secure to get money out of your own bank ATM. So I would definitely advise Lloyd's, Barclays, HSBC, NatWest, RBS, and they all have that same account type. So it's called basic student account, which you do not pay monthly fees for it. So that is really important for you to check. Number one thing, when you're opening account, it's called basic student if you're from Europe, and it's called international basic student if you're from some other country outside of EU and outside of UK.
Exactly. I used to be with Lloyd's, and I closed my account after because I got Revolut. But every time, yeah, it's that. It's pay attention to the sort of account, pay attention to the maintenance fees on the account, and pay attention to the transfer fees, I'd say, because I think some banks have higher transfer fees than other. And this is relevant if you're going to be paying your tuition fees from that account, because you don't want to be paying a percentage of transfer fees on really high transfers, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think that do the research there, and again, me saying ask your advisor. I mean, we have all done it. We have all done it. I had a UK bank account. You had a UK bank account. So I'm sure that we know much more about when somebody who doesn't have a UK bank account. We can tell you some tips and tricks and so on. So I know that some universities even have like ATMs at their campuses. So make sure to ask your student advisor which campus it is, which ATM it is on the campus, because it can be valuable to have that.
Exactly. I really think, and this is all a part a bit of student budgeting, right? Because this is what makes your budget, is the type of things that you're paying for, or the amount of work that you need to do to actually get to your money. So do you want to talk a bit about budgeting, Mr. Financial Maths?
Okay, budgeting. Yeah, I think the topic that everybody should be knowledgeable. Everybody needs to know how much is it gonna cost to study in the UK. What can you expect? Can you not expect? How much you can cover, and so on. I think very important topic, and even people who are not that fond of numbers, not that fond of finances should know this, and I think that very important topic. So with the budgeting, of course, student budget, it's gonna be always, in most of the cases, I think it's going to be very tight. So you're going to try to squeeze in as much as you can into that little space, little numbers that you might have. So I would definitely say here, be smart and plan in advance. I think that is the most crucial advice that I would give. Do not overspend in some things, like do not go shopping every single day. I'm sure everybody can shop every single bit, but do you have to? That's a big question, you know. And overall, I think that you will learn that by time. I think that think about your country, think about where you live in. If you know that you can get, I don't know, bread somewhere for £1, but the same quality of that bread for £0.5 somewhere else. Why don't you go there for £0.5? You know, and you will learn that in the UK. So I think that we all who study here, especially students, know which supermarkets to go to because they're cheaper and the quality is same, and which supermarkets not to go to save money, for that money to reallocate for a night out, sports, and anything you might want. So.
I love how the first thing you put everywhere is always like save for a night out.
That's part of student life, isn't it? Like you have to do it in a way. Like everybody turns, most of students turn 18 when they come to university. So of course, I think that that's one of the good things about student life is to experience that night out, to go out,
Definitely.
spend times with friends and so on, connections and many advantages
Definitely.
there.
I've been for so long in the UK and teaching students about budgeting as well that I've started to incorporate this. So, I'm from media studies. I failed maths for most of my life. I really don't like numbers. I'm that person. I might hire you to do my budget next year if you want. Like, I will pay you, Stefan, and you can decide your own pay. I don't mind. But honestly, I started, and this relates to a question that we just got here, which supermarkets are cheap and which are expensive, which was what I was going to talk about. So basically, recently, I've been living in Bristol. I've been living in a house full of people since the beginning of lockdown, and I'm with a partner. And the supermarkets that we have close by are Sainsbury's and Waitrose. So these are two of the most expensive supermarkets in the UK. We don't have a Tesco's nearby. We don't have an Aldi. We don't have a Lidl. We don't have an Asda, which are somewhat cheaper. So what we started doing about a month ago, I told him, like, we really need to start doing this differently because we're spending so much money on groceries. We were spending ridiculous amounts of money because we were going shopping every day. We were shopping at Waitrose and Sainsbury's. So we started going on walks because we have an Aldi about 25 minutes away. And we started walking there. It's a really nice walk. And we've been saving about £100 a month since we just calculated this month. And it was about that. So go to Aldi, go to Lidl, go to Asda if you want to save as much money as possible. Go to Sainsbury's and Waitrose if you really wanted something posh.
And I'm gonna tell you a story. You're gonna laugh. I know you are.
Go
So,
ahead.
I lived in my second year when I lived in Nottingham in a house, and from my window I could see Sainsbury's, right? Okay, but as I know, the Sainsbury's is a little bit more expensive. It is really good when you are vegan or gluten free. Much more quality there, 100%. So as I'm gluten free, some of the things I did buy in Sainsbury's, but other stuff that I could buy in a normal supermarket, Asda, which is a lot cheaper, is like 500 meters from my house, and I'm really lazy, so I don't go weekly shopping. I go 3 week or 4 week shopping, right? So my advice: wear gloves because you're gonna have a lot of bags, and then if you put the plastic on your hand, it's gonna tear your hand. But if you wear gloves, then you can take much more bags than you might think.
Oh my God, Stefan, you
Yeah.
use a
So it was
freaking
it was pretty
backpack.
much me walking with a lot of bags from shopping. because Asda was cheaper, but I did save a lot of money, So it was a success, and it was a workout for me. So on Saturdays, I didn't even have to go into the gym. I would just go to Asda to buy some groceries, and then with a lot of bags, I would come back home and did my workout like that.
Man, I'm buying you a backpack for Christmas, okay?
No, no, I did have a backpack. I was buying, as I said, 3-4 weeks worth of
Oh my
food.
God.
So it's a backpack on your back, and then you have to take some bags in your hand. But yeah.
Oh my God, no. All right. Yeah, I would not do that with Aldi. I would not do that. It's 25-minute walk. No.
you know thing being a student on a budget, yeah, trying to save money and so on. But I did that, and it's quite a funny story, when especially when, because I didn't have a car. That's also a thing. So it would be much easier if I did have a car.
Were
But
you in Nottingham then or in London?
no, I was in Nottingham. I was
All
in
right.
Nottingham. London is a bit different because rarely you will see those very cheap supermarkets. I do have Asda really close to me where I'm currently living, but I live in Zone 2, so which is not the city center and so on. So in London, it's quite, let's say, I chose to travel a little bit more, to spend a little bit more on my traveling, but then to save up for food because I live close to Asda and so on. So it like compensates, let's say it in a way.
Exactly. I think it's a lot about that, right? Where our budgeting is very personal and we need to kind of think about our own lifestyle, because it's great for you to think that you're going to do a walk to Aldi every 25 minutes. But if you're not that type of person, then maybe you either need to budget a little bit more for groceries to buy from the supermarkets that are near your house, or you need to budget a bit more for transport to actually go to Aldi, or you need to get a house that's closer to these kinds of supermarkets. So it's definitely a matter of thinking of it holistically. I feel like budgeting is really something we need to think about, where it incorporates with our lifestyle, how much money we want to spend on certain things. Because I feel a lot of the students sometimes, or better, it's really easy when you're an undergraduate student, you're 18, you've lived with your parents all your life, to kind of construct a budget pyramid that looks like fun all over, and completely forget that you have to pay rent, that you have to pay bills, that you have to buy food for yourself. So this would happen to me all the time during my undergraduate, where I would get paid, I would go on a night out, and then suddenly it would be like, oh, I can't afford groceries next week. And that's not a good situation to be in, because then you need to work again to get more money for the groceries that you had already saved for.
100%. I mean, we are learning from mistakes, right? When I see how much money I was spending in my first months, and how smarter and more experienced I'm currently, it's completely different story. Like, I can afford much more things now because I know where to spend. Like, why would I buy, I don't know, chicken fillets when they're somewhere 5 quid, and here they're 3 quid, and the quality is the same because I tasted them. The quality is the same. Of course, I'm gonna buy three. We're 3 pounds and save 2 pounds, and it comes up. It bounds up. As you said, you saved £100 just going to a different supermarket.
Exactly, exactly. It's also, I was going to mention this as well. It's like Sainsbury's does have a huge range of vegan stuff, but most of the vegan stuff that they have is really expensive and not necessary. So when we started going to Aldi, so we're both vegan. When we started going to Aldi, what happened was that we stopped buying that sort of expensive stuff. So like the vegan cheese and the vegan nice sausages and the nice like chocolate chip cookies and all of this. And that ended up having such an impact on both our budget and our health, to be honest, because vegan cheese is mostly oil. So you shouldn't really be consuming that anyway. So it has definitely had a really positive impact on both my budget and my health in general. But it is about this of just like planning for it holistically. And yeah, what you were saying about making our own mistakes and learning from your mistakes, that's it. That's why we do these lives. So guys, don't make our mistakes, make some new ones. And then tell us about it so we can tell other students not to make them.
Yeah, 100%. I think the only fixed, let's say, like that fixed aspect of that budget is gonna be what you choose for accommodation for that year. I was spending the most amount, the largest amount of money. Not saying London and Nottingham. You cannot compare those two things. London is much more expensive there. But in Nottingham, as I lived 3 years, the first year was accommodation the most expensive because I was booking it. I didn't know the city that well. I didn't have an amazing advisors as our students have now in OK Student here to tell me which neighborhoods are cheaper, better, and so on. But you all have that now, so feel free to ask us where do we think, especially if we lived in that city, where do we think is the best option to get accommodation. So, but as I was saying, my first year I was paying the largest amount of money for accommodation. In comparison to last year, I was paying £100 different a month. That is a lot of money. That £100 and food in supermarkets in UK is very cheap in my opinion, very cheap. So I was just reallocating that money there and food money somewhere else into the sports or into traveling and so on. So definitely keep. I was learning it on my own, but you guys do not have to do that. Like just ask us. It's very simple. We're going to be able to tell you.
Exactly. And even if your advisor has not lived in that city, the probabilities are that we have a university partner in that city or that we know some students in that city. So do let us know at okstudent.co.uk/form which city you want to go to, talk to an advisor, and we'll help you find the perfect university, the perfect course in the perfect location, and we'll help you sort out your accommodation if you need to. So I want to address a question here because I know that the only thing we've talked about so far is financing, right? Because we've been so focused on the student finance thing, but there are other things that are going to change, right? So we have a question from Simran asking, how is the UK studying experience for a EU student going to change apart from finance next year? So we do have Brexit and there are a few things that are going to change, but we don't have a lot of news yet on how visas are going to work, if there are going to be visas, and how tuition fees in other countries in other parts of the UK beyond England are going to work. Do
I
you want to
think
add anything, Stefan?
yeah, definitely. I would when students ask me about this, I always give this example, which I think they always ask about quality. Okay, is quality going to change of the education, which is also one of the most important things about coming and studying in UK. What is the quality of education? I mean, you are here for that quality, for that different approach to education. So my answer is always: do you think that a professor or a lecturer was there during the EU period, which was not that long ago? It was what, 31st of December. It was the official day that Brexit happened, and we came transition period. So that was term one. Okay, we're still in term three. We're still summer. Master's courses are still going. We are supposed to write our final year project and so on. But the same lecture I had in term one is still here. So is the quality changing? Currently, no, nothing. Not the quality is not changing. I mean, definitely, changes are going to be there, but I'm saying that one of the most important thing, quality, is not changing currently. So
Exactly.
I want to definitely put that out there for it. Yes, finance is going to change, but the quality is still there. I mean, UK
Exactly.
has been top educational country. In my opinion, it is the best overall, the best country for education in the world, and it has been that, in my opinion, for years already. So definitely that part is not going to change.
Exactly. I think that's it, is universities are going to make sure that nothing changes about the UK study experience for the EU student. They're going to make sure that the quality remains there and that they get to keep their researchers and lecturers who are European. You can still apply. So if you want to apply for this year and get student finance and come into one of the top educational systems in the world, do get in touch through okstudent.co.uk/form. Even if you just want to ask some questions or you want to clear up some doubts about what's going to happen next year and what's going to happen from here on, do send us an email at info@okstudent.co.uk so we can better help you with any questions you might have. Um, so we have a quick question here from Trish, asking, is there English language support when you start your course? And this is quite a good question, because some students come in and they want to take English support classes, especially for academic writing and things of the sort. Stefan, have you used these resources?
Well, I was during my time at NTU. I was a student mentor for mathematics and statistics, and I had colleagues who were student mentors for academic writing. So I think that answers the question there, because university, in this case library, for my university, did provide services that were completely free to the student in order to help them with their academia, with their studies. And yes, there is a lot. Uh, do not imagine UK university as just academia, as just lectures. It's not that. There are so many services, from library, accommodation services, finance services, and so on. Everything is made for your student experience to be amazing. You just have to be open minded and say yes to those opportunities, and you're going to have an amazing time. That would be
Exactly.
my advice, 100%.
Exactly, 100%. If you need any sort of help, the university is there for you. All you need to do is access the resources. There are lots of workshops in libraries as well. The university library normally does at the beginning of a term lots of workshops on academic writing, on oral presentations if you need to give a presentation to your class. So do take advantage of these resources and take your time as well, because I think that this is something that happens sometimes, is people, or better, students aren't able to budget their money and they aren't able to manage their time, and this creates a bit of chaos in one's life. So if you're planning on working especially, you need to really manage your time carefully to be able to take advantage of all the resources these universities have to offer you. This relates to a question that we have here from Babikba, who's asking if students are allowed to work and take care of their needs while they're studying. So this is a different case for European students and international students, right, Stefan?
Yes, that is right. European students do not have to get a visa like internationals do. So we have as EU, we have the opportunity to work a lot more hours than internationals. Okay, I do not want to discourage international students there, because payment per hour in part-time work is quite high in the UK. So you will still manage in cities, especially outside London, to cover all of your costs with that hour limit. I'm not sure on the hour limit. Do you know the hour limit on these
20 hours.
20 hours? Yeah. So let's put it in maths, right? Because I love maths, so we can put it in maths. So if you work 20 hours, yeah, sorry about that. I love numbers. That's just me.
God
So
damn it.
if you, yeah, sorry, 20 hours per week, to make that sure. 20 hours per week you can work. 20 hours per week times £8, which is, I think, minimum is 770, if I'm correct. I think
It
something like
depends
that.
on the age as well. It
Yeah,
depends on age. So and up until 21, you have different tiers of wage in the UK. So I think it starts at 680 when you're about 17, 16, and goes all the way up to 8 minimum.
yeah. So let's say let's give this example of, let's say, 7, right? So let's say that you're getting 7 per hour. That's 140 per week, which is that 560 per month. That is more than enough to have for your accommodation and have for your living expenses.
Especially if you don't live in London, right? Because that's something else that we wanted to touch on. It was just like the difference of being in London versus being in a different city, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can say that from my experience in Nottingham, with my part-time work, I was doing, I could definitely cover my costs and of living. And in London, it's a bit more difficult. So I did have some money prepared, some savings that I was using, and I'm currently using for covering my life expenses. But in Nottingham, I was covering. I was living. I was independent, which is one of the things also why I came to UK. I wanted to have that independence aspect of it.
So I kind of checked the wage rates in the meanwhile. And basically, we have here 18 to 20 years old. The minimum wage is £6.45 per hour. 21 to 24 is £8.20 per hour. And 25 years old and over is £8.72 per hour. So it's even a bit more than what we calculated here quickly. So it
Yeah,
is definitely enough to live on, and it's enough for you to do your own expenses, especially if your university is allowing you to have resources like free ebooks and things of this sort. Um, it is like quite good to find a part-time job as well while you're studying, because it also shows that you have work ethic once you get out of your undergraduate degrees.
yeah,
Thank you,
100.
Bobby.
Yeah, thank you. And what I want to say is this: what Mariana said, though, those prices, and depending on the age, it is really important to know this is the minimum. Okay, so you could be making more money if your, of course, job offers it, and so on. So, and we are calculating all on minimum, and with the minimum, you're able to cover your cost of living here.
Exactly. And to say one last thing about this, we do have several of our advisors who are international students and are currently working part-time. So if you do want to know more about this and how they manage their money, do let us know either at info@okstudent.com, .co.uk, sorry, or at okstudent.co.uk /form. We have 10 different nationalities in total working at our team. So I'm sure you'll find someone that will have an analogous experience to yours. Stefan, we wanted to talk about more things, right? But we're kind of running out
Yeah,
of time here.
this is like what, 50 minutes already. I've gone like this, nothing.
Completely,
We could,
completely.
I think we could be talking for days. I mean, I'm not sure I'll be able to do it, but yeah,
We need long sleeping breaks in between. But
Yeah, we are European. We need those naps. I completely
exactly.
agree with you. It was such a strange thing. I was with my friend during the when lockdown became here, and my normal working day, study day as a student, especially, I have the privilege to do it. So I work in the morning. I wake up really early at work. Then I take like half an hour nap during the day. And he, as a Brit, he came. You're so European. You take naps like every single day. And I said, yes. Well, that keeps me up, keeps me refreshed. That's completely me. And that works for me 100%.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I love taking naps, but I haven't been able to do that in the last few weeks. Basically, I miss having a nap. To be honest, it's quite good.
And,
So
and, and and I feel very accomplished when I have like a good nap. It's like I've done something good.
I think the other day did we have a call when we both had just woken up from a nap?
Yeah, yeah, a
Yeah,
small
I
one,
thought so.
10, 15 minutes, just enough to refresh,
Exactly.
and that's it.
It's like the 20-minute power nap.
Yeah,
All right, shall we have a power nap in between this and the meeting we're going to have in a half an hour then?
100%. A little
All
nappy.
right. Stefan, it was great speaking to you again. I always have a great time on these lives. Guys, if you have any questions about the European student experience, do let us know at info@okstudent.co.uk. Fill in our form at okstudent.co.uk /form, or just leave a comment below and someone from the team will answer it. We're looking for creators. We're constantly looking for creative people to join our team. So it's video, copy, or art. If you have things to share with us, do send it over to info@okstudent.co.uk. I don't know why I'm with the com today. I just decided I'm American today. Don't forget to follow us, subscribe on all of our media. That is OK Student on Twitter, Instagram, Medium, and YouTube, and Facebook, and LinkedIn. We have all of these 6 channels for you to follow everything up with us. So do let us know if you have any questions, and get in touch if you still want to apply for 2020. Thank you again, Stefan, and thank you to everyone that was listening to us. Thank you to everyone that saw this live, and thank you to everyone who's asked us really good questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariana, and yeah, really had a nice time now. Really had a nice time.
It was great.
Yep.
See you next week, guys.